Hey, what's up you guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of this series on how to speed up your detail. On today's topic, we're going over polishing. Our first tip for you guys is using your DA polisher to apply your glazes, sealants, and waxes. Now this is an excellent way to speed up your polishing process because if you didn't know already, your DA polisher is capable of spreading fine and even coats of your favorite chemical guys glazes, sealants, and waxes. So you can go ahead and use the proper pads with your machine, use the proper chemical, and apply a nice fine coat to your entire vehicle in just a matter of minutes. So instead of you doing it by hand and being there all day, it can be kind of tiring and it can be kind of time consuming. Use your machine, you have the machine already, may as well use it to your benefit and apply all these products to your vehicle so that you're not there all day doing it. If you're a detailer or if you have a business, this is one of the most key components that you should be using. Now this right here, it's gonna save yourself a lot of time, a lot of products so that you get a nice even coat, and it makes your life so much more easier so that you can get that car done and completed a lot sooner. Our next tip is using a 2-in-1 product such as VSS Scratch Swirl Remover. Now VSS is great because it contains diminishing abrasives. That pretty much means that it starts off cutting like a compound and it finishes off like a fine polish. So as you're working, you're removing light to medium to heavy imperfections whilst also refining the paint. Once the abrasives break down, it turns into that fine polish so that you get the nice full crystal clear clarity of a polish once you're done cutting with those diminishing abrasives. Now using a product like VSS, it's a huge time saver because if you're a mobile detailer, if you're a detailing business, or maybe you're just that weekend warrior that likes working on your car, maybe you're short on time, this is an excellent product for you to go ahead and use to achieve amazing results at the fraction amount of time than you would by doing a full paint correction. Our next tip is using a smaller and/or bigger backing plate. So depending on the vehicle that you're working on, sometimes you're working on a vehicle that has smaller, tighter areas, or maybe you're just doing smaller areas such as headlights, around the wheels, front bumpers, rear bumpers, B-pillars, you name it. Any of those tight areas, you want to go ahead and use a smaller backing plate so that you have more precision. Now, what better way than to use a 3.5-inch backing plate? Having access to using a smaller backing plate, it's going to be a huge time saver in the sense that you're not going to have to be doing those tight or smaller areas by hand. So I know a lot of guys out there that, they have to go ahead and do those more intricate areas by hand with the hand pad and with compound or polish. Now that doesn't have to be the case by using a smaller backing plate. Now remember, this backing plate is great for getting into those hard to reach areas, especially if you have a bike. You don't want to polish the bike by hand. You don't want to polish those hard to reach areas by hand because it's going to take much more longer as opposed to doing it by machine. So save yourself the time, pick yourself up a smaller 3.5-inch backing plate just for those cases where you want to get into those hard to reach areas. And for those larger areas, that's when you want to go ahead and use a bigger backing plate such as a 6-inch. Now sometimes if you're faced with a truck, an RV, a boat, something that has large flat panels, having a 6-inch backing plate works out amazing because you're going to be able to cover more area with less passes. So you're not going to be there all day with a smaller backing plate going up and down and up and down, as opposed to a 6-inch backing plate where you go up and down and pretty much do whatever this was going to do in the amount of times that you give those passes versus with the 6-inch backing plate. This is also going to allow you to cover more surface coverage, so pretty much you're going to get a lot more area done with less passes with your machine because the backing plate's a lot bigger, so you're going to be able to cut through those larger panels a lot sooner so that you're not there with the smaller backing plate all day. So that does it for our backing plates. Our next tip has to do with our rotary polisher. So for tip number 4, using a rotary polisher for removing heavy imperfections. A rotary polisher such as the Torque R has the power of cutting through heavy imperfections a lot sooner than it would than a DA polisher. Now the difference between these two is that a rotary and a DA, a rotary is kind of like a scalpel versus a DA polisher, which is more of a butter knife. Now they're both going to cut, but they're going to cut at different paces. So the scalpel is going to cut a lot deeper and a lot faster than it would than a butter knife. So your Torque rotary, it's going to go ahead and cut a lot faster, a lot sooner, so that you remove those heavy imperfections on a vehicle so you're not there all day with the finer DA polisher and a finer polish. All these combination of products, they do make a difference, the type of paint that you're working on. A rotary polisher is going to go ahead and cut through all that heavy oxidation, those heavy etched in water spots, those heavy scratches and swirls, that's going to work out amazing for those older vehicles that are extremely neglected. A rotary polisher spins on one axis versus a DA which spins on two axes. So the DA, it spins just like a rotary, but it also oscillates at the same time. So you kind of get that massaging factor as you spin around on the paint. And tip number 5 for you guys is using the universal pad washer to go ahead and clean through tons of pads. Now, if you're a detailing business and you go through pads all day, or maybe you're just that enthusiast that loves having tons of pads, the universal pad washer is gonna work out amazing for you because it's gonna help you and allow you to clean all your pads a lot faster than you would by doing it by hand. The universal pad washer is super beneficial and super easy to use. All you have to do is fill it up with some water, go ahead and put some pad cleaning solution in there. You wanna go ahead and grab your machine, get your dirty pad and put it on there. You're gonna go ahead and stick it inside, and then you're gonna go ahead and turn on your machine and gently work the machine on the low speed setting so that it pretty much wrings out all those polishing oils, compound, and any kind of residue that's stuck in your pad. And the surface and the grit guard of the machine, it's actually kind of wringing out all that stuff that's in your pad, so it removes it out your pad and extracts it so that you get a nice, fresh, clean pad. All right, guys, and there you guys have it. Like I mentioned, just a quick little video for you guys so that you guys can speed up your polishing process. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If I didn't mention something that you think that everyone should know, make sure to leave it in the comment section down below. As always, my name is Joey. This is Chemical Guys Detail Garage, and we'll see you guys next time.